106 encounters, 27,000 people, and just 2 points. Tonight on Rugby on 216, brought to you by Thirsty, we unpack the biggest schoolboy rugby derby on earth. Hello, good evening, and welcome to another episode of Rugby on 216, brought to you by Thirsty. We're sitting in the middle of the Forest Street Stadium after one of the most incredible schoolboy rugby matches I've ever watched. 27,000 tickets sold. This place was absolutely bouncing. A 2-point margin. Boys High coming out victors. Sport Cooks, welcome to the best province in the country and the best schoolboy derby match in the world.
Second time this evening that I didn't know we were in Blub. But just because of the best province you mentioned, no, it's a massive privilege sitting on Fora doing this. I mean, we've been here for a few years. We've watched some of the most epic schoolboy encounters, and today will probably go down in South African folklore as one of the best. It's the 106th time these two schools play each other. First game 1915. Inter schools, as we know it now, started 1929. And I believe this is right up there. And later on tonight, we'll hear from some of the Paarl locals, it's just where does this rank? But I suppose very near the top.
I mean, my first time coming down to Forest Street, coming down to Inter schools and watching this live, I mean, it was incredible. I spent the first half sitting with Sport and Warren Brosian in comms, and I couldn't hear them properly, and they were a meter away from me. That's why I tend to watch most of our school games we watch, because it's just nice to watch the game and hear the commentary, but I couldn't hear them. And then I came and sat down here for the second half and sort of sitting in the boys' high section because I'd picked them. And then it was loud. It was probably one of the loudest derby days that I've been to. Yes, you go to ones with Quijos and the singing, but this one was just loud. There's constant. There was electric guitars. There was singing. There was drama from fans. And no, what a day!
I just want to raise my hand here. Cooksy has been in this situation a lot this year, so I've got to ask him. Me having now picked against Boys Eye, if we maybe walk out the stadium now, will you just accompany me, please, and just walk close?
The thing is, us Boys Eye men, we look after our own. You're going to come to our side of the town tonight. I can't guarantee. I'll look after you. As my friend, I've got to look after you.
Can you maybe just send a grace message before we go? Say I will be bringing, and I have converted him.
That's why we're still sitting here shooting, is because we're too scared to go outside with Sport. But you talk about how you were sitting with the Boys High supporters. So I sat on the side here the whole match, and for the first 60 minutes, I was clapping enthusiastically for everything that happened as a bit of a neutral fan of rugby. Then Cooks came, and I remembered, I actually also picked last week, and I made the very bold choice of spending the whole day in my old school Paarl Boys jersey. Cool. And when they scored those two tries to come back and then to seal it, I mean, we were going berserk over here. So it was just feeling the energy and everything was so special. But let's talk about the game. Let's talk about standouts. Just Sput, you said before, and you said last week, and you said in comms, tempo versus physicality. The physicality of Paarl Boys versus the tempo of Paarl. Do you think we saw that today?
Yes, we definitely did, because if you can remember, or if you can think back at how the match started, it was Paarl Boys trying to assert physical dominance.
They won a scrum penalty in almost the first minutes of the match.
And they played it close, Cooksy, at the start. Conservative, as you'd expect in a day like this, and as you'd expect from a Shaun Erasmus side. Trying to assert that physical dominance. And then you saw them being caught out on the break. a couple of occasions when there were turnovers. So it was exactly what I thought it would be. I just think where Boys Eye was really good and where they've been better this year than in years gone by is they can also attack. And they can also play from turnover ball. And they've got some really explosive players in the back line as well. So I think they thoroughly deserve their win in the end. Although the Paarl half of Paarl will sit there tonight and go, we could have done it, and we should have done it. Then, if they did do it, it might have been slightly against the run of play. But they were in the position with a 12-point lead with 10 minutes to go. Even a penalty then seals it. Even a drop goal then seals it. So they'll feel hard done by. But Boys Eye, grit, determination, character.
Yeah. Cooks, we spoke about Quinton Potgieter, Marcus Miller last week in the build-up. They put together the first try for Gim. What did you think of them today?
I mean, you look at all the stars who are out today, and I think you look at, Paarl going into the Quinton Potgieters, Marcus Miller, and I mean, they were fantastic. I mean, obviously they were together to put together that first try, but I thought they were also nullified by an incredible Paarl boys effort. Gobers Volker was the king prize. Our king of the match, he was phenomenal. I mean, for him to play what is a very, very good loose forward trio is incredible. It's just so strange, a game like this. And yes, you do want the stars to shine, but I thought what what Paarl boys did very well is they did very well to neutralize those Paarl guys by dominating territory. They scrummed well, they were physical. It looked like they were wearing down Gim in transition. Some of the tries they scored in transition was incredible, and it was when Paarl boys would blink and comes behind them. Like you mentioned, Alex, I'll probably say 50 minutes into the game. Yes, it was a 1-point game, but it felt like Paarl boys were in control. Then they blinked, they were 8 points down in a space in a matter of 3 minutes, and you're going, oh geez, what's happened here? And then the momentum's coming, but. I couldn't forget was again. I mean, he's always going to come. He's always going to be incredible. We know how special Marcus Miller is. His boot was fantastic today. His boot kept him in that game.
Yeah.
When it looked like it, which is so funny. We thought it would be the other way around. Where it looked like was getting into it, but they'll get penalties. Marcus Miller's boot is kept in the game. But I mean, the king of the matches. I think that's the guy you got to leave with. Vulcan was exceptional today. I mean, like told the story of a kid. Was playing second team rugby until 2 weeks ago, wearing 80 kgs, and shine above all the stars, the brightest stars.
So I've got a question, and I've got something I want to put to you, Cooks and Alex, because I mean you've now proven your rugby.
Taken 23 episodes.
I can now trust your opinion.
Just pick what Cooks picks.
After 24 episodes, we're there. We've arrived at the point. Paarl, 2 penalties. They've kicked the whole season. Did you know that? They kicked 2 penalties this season.
So that was a statement of respect.
So now, I'm posing the question. Now, Marcus was fantastic of the kicking team, but they kicked 3 or 4 today. So what did they do in other matches? They obviously went to the corners, or they went and they trusted their maul. Was that worth a shot? Looking back now,
in hindsight,
2 points long. Hindsight is the perfect
That's
side.
the best side.
It's a funny one, Sput, because it's funny, like with coaches, and I mean, as a coach, as I used to coach, you find yourself in some of the biggest games doing something that you don't tend to kind of do. You go for polls, and it's funny as a coach, you're always trying to, the kids know how big this game is. So sometimes you find yourself trying to bring it down. Trying to bring it down, like, guys, it's another Saturday, but even though it's not, but you're trying to make it as normal as possible. But then chances to go for polls come up, or even sometimes it's the players calling it. They're probably feeling, guys, it's a test match. We're going to be defined.
Not
on
saying
this.
I disagree.
No, 100%.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it happens. I think some kids think that.
And we mentioned in commentary exactly they made the right choices.
So because in your mind, like, I agree with you in terms of like. Maybe the kids might say, Marcus, probably if they're playing against Paul Rose in the situation, maybe they'll go for the corner.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you started the one on the half line before halftime, but you may be thinking, let's have one more crack, maybe get a try. It's funny how but it's a mindset thing where teams find themselves doing. We covered many a derby where you'll find a team doing things that they won't do in any other game. Just because it's a derby, they're feeling like, okay, we need to get the points where to get the points when we can take them. And especially I think if you come where it felt like getting in the 22. I think they only had 22 entries in the first half. So you're thinking, we don't know where we're going to get the points from, but if we can leave here with 10 or 13 they're left with, we'll see where you go from there.
35 points to 33. It's a winning margin of 2. And in the last 6 years, including this year, they've now each won 3. If we exclude last year, the average points difference is 2.2.
Yeah.
So kicking at goal, you understand, and like you said at the time, obviously the right call. Absolutely. And
I just wonder if it disrupts their rhythm because they're not used to it. Because now remember, as weird as this sounds, what do you give away when you kick the penalty? Field position.
Yeah, territory.
And they were struggling to get it.
Yeah.
So you leave with 3, and you leave with 6, and you leave with 9. But you concede those 2 tries at the end, and you concede 14. And it's just like I say, in hindsight, in the moment, I thought they made the right calls at the right times, executed it near perfection, but for 7 minutes.
Yeah. Well, there was a little bit more on the line today than just the match, because you guys made a lot of picks last week. You made 5 picks, in fact. And I'm just going to go down the list because you got all of them right to start. So Hultmakar beat Rustenburg 38 points to 22. You both said Hultmakar would win. Jeppy beat Kez. Quite a close one, 39 points to 31. Affies.
Close at the end.
Close at the end, yeah.
Close at the end.
Affies beat Waterkloof 64-19, so not close. You both said Affies as well. Grey High lost to Grey College, 15 points to 48. Grey College, obviously you both said that. Which means you both got 4 out of 4 for that. But for today, you said Paarl Gym, you said Paarl Boys, we said Paarl Boys, which means the red cap split is supposed to go to Cooks.
Once again, this
is a funny story.
We want to hear the story.
Where's my cap?
So
Where is my cap?
What I did was I took it from Bloem, right? And I flew with it. And it's in my suitcase. But this morning when I left the hotel in Cape Town to come to Paarl, I left it in the suitcase. I'm so sorry, man.
So it's in the right province, but...
No, I told you. Watch, if something happens next week and again, the cap all of a sudden vanish again, I would like my cap back, which I've won, because I said that Julian Rasmus has a plan for me, and he did. And now I don't have my cap, which I've won. I've not had that cap for weeks, because like when I did have it, it was in Bloem.
Yes.
So I just want to tell you guys a very funny story, though. Not about the cap anymore. Well, it's related to the cap, okay?
I want my cap back.
Understood. No, understood. Loud and clear, because I need your protection as well tonight. But here comes the thing. Remember 3 or 4 weeks ago, you started pulsing us about this inter-schools. And I went Boys Eye. And I said Boys Eye.
Yes.
So a lot of people here missed our episode last week. Because as I entered the stadium this morning, everybody was going, why did you pick Boys Eye? And I'm like, no, I actually went and I lost them.
And now you're regretting correcting them.
So I'm just waiting. Can I get half a point?
No.
No, because it's like on The Impossible Truth, where I know it, and then I doubt myself so much, and I'm not sure, and it's so close, and then I change my opinion. But let's see what it's also done to the scores, the percentages, the running totals we've got going. Before today, you guys were equal on 72% each, 43 from 60 picks. Now you're out of 65 picks. Split, you've got 47. Cooks, 48 out of the 65 picks. But the percentage is a bit more interesting because of the rounding. 72%, 74%.
Wow, outstanding.
Right.
That makes sense to me.
Yeah,
that actually makes sense to me, because, as this red cap, which belongs to me, which I've designed on my head, it makes sense that I am getting to the 75% region. I think I've probably gotten 2 or 3 wrong in the last month. I've been on a roll.
No, you've been very good. No, Cooksy, you've been very good.
So good that you bring my cap.
And I forget the cap on purpose every time because I feel threatened, And you've been really good. And I mean, I'm sort of running out of time, so this giving you chances, I think, is now over.
Well, we're going to make 6 picks later, so you've got a bit of a chance to catch up.
At least I'll be leading again next week, so it's all right.
Last thing I want to talk to before we go to the break, Oakdale, Paul Ruiz. Oakdale winning 21 points to 17.
No surprise.
Where don't you win, Spooty?
You don't win on the pass. You don't go to Riversdale and just win. You've got to be a very special side to do that. You know what? Paul Ruiz is a quality side, and we all know that. But if that was part of the picks last week, and we had to pick a winner in Riversdale I would have picked
Oakdale, yeah.
So to me, it's not a surprise. It's a surprise to a lot that'll see the result because they'll see the names. And Paarl Gymnasium, remember last year they went unbeaten. They were, and this year nobody's going to go unbeaten, barring maybe Westville.
And their season is done, so they have gone unbeaten.
They have gone unbeaten.
Yes, yeah.
So Westville is the only unbeaten side in South Africa. Are they the best side in South Africa? No. But they are the only unbeaten side. So they'll have a claim saying, listen, we haven't lost.
Best side in KZN, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So definitely by a long shot as well. But it's nobody's gone unbeaten. But if you ask me, who's the favourites at Oakdale versus Paarl, I would have said Oakdale.
Yeah. Fair enough then. We're going to take a quick break here on Rugby on 216. When we come back, 6 picks to make for next week as the FNB Under-18 International Series gets underway in the best province of the country, the Western Cape. We'll see you in a bit.
So many stand-up performances this weekend, but only one can be crowned the Machine of the Week. The reveal's coming up after a quick water break with Thirsty.
Thank you for believing in each other. Thank you for putting all your hard work.
Thank you for never giving up.
Guys. Thank you for bringing the game to more people. Thank you.
Honey, I think the career guy's here.
Je komt mee boksen. Kibbies? Anna? Maar waar is die Anna?
Hey, hey, hey! Ik kom mee boksen, ik kom mee boksen. Hoes! Ik kom mee boksen, ik kom mee boksen.
Wow, wow! Exemos, wow! Breng van mij die box. Okay, so.
The Courier Guy, the courier behind the box.
Can you deliver something for me?
Where to?
Hij wees van mij, hij wees van mij.
Put this one in the Springs box.
Look at man, Hey, winner.
Sure, sure. You sure? Sure, sure, sure.
Yeah, man, you sure?
Yes, I am sure. Look at this thing. It's presidential. What if we get caught, man? Nobody gets caught in South Africa, man.
That's true.
Now lift. I'm sure.
Don't just be sure. Be sure. King Price in sure. Insurance you can be sure about. Visit kingprice.co.za.
You saw the action, we saw the machine. Let's find out who takes the title of the Machine of the Week.
Welcome back to Rugby on 216, brought to you by Thirsty. And as you heard from Cheslin Colby, it's time for the Thirsty Machine of the Week. And sitting at Forest Street after that match, we've gone with boy size number 7, Kobus Vulcan. He was the king of the match. So I don't think.
I just want to know why you take all the glory every time with it. Why don't you go, who's the king of the match? And I'll go, Kobus Vulcan, please.
when we have a debate, we'll debate it.
Without a shadow of doubt.
Yeah.
That youngster stole my heart today. I know it sounds so funny what I'm saying, but, you know, I read his name on the team sheet. I was like, have I seen him play, you know? And Bros actually was a guy that told me, listen, I rate this guy. I think he can play. Started off, you know, sort of finding his footing and then exploded into that game. And, geez, I mean, he's going to have a sore body tomorrow when he wakes up because he chucks that 83 kgs into everything.
No, he was special. Like I said, on the night of the Full of Stars, he shone the brightest, you know.
Yeah.
And Like I said, it's the last week. I think it's my go-to line now. I mean,
Have you trademarked it yet?
No, I should actually.
Oh,
But
I was again. But it's the second time in the show already, and he did it before. Yeah. I'd have a bunch of stars if shone the bright.
Yeah.
No,
No, but it was the stars
Yeah.
at the derby, and I mean he was incredible. Like I said, I mean his interview, I mean he was in tears. It showed how much it meant to him, and not one time did he speak about himself. And I tried to get him to say about himself. He said, no, it's about the boys, it's about the family. You know, it's about that's what he's doing it for. So definitely deserving of a Machine of the Week.
And like you said, Spurt stole your heart. That story is just so special, and I think we just to end it off, to really emphasize how incredible it is to be the king of the match and the Thursday Machine of the Week in a match like this, coming from someone who's playing second
There was
team.
27 provincial rugby players on the field today,
and he's
not
the king
one of
the
them.
match. Exactly.
And he's the king of the match. I mean, fairy tale stuff.
Absolutely, and that's this derby makes fairy tales. School rugby, it's so special. You guys are sitting on 72%, 74%. We've got some picks, all right, and the first two are tough ones because they are for the FNB Under 18 International Series. We're doing 6 picks. These are the first two. So let's just talk about the International Series quickly. We've had a couple movements on where that 8th August first encounter is going to be. We went to Stellenbosch, Durbanville. That's where it's happening now. Your thoughts on what is going to be a very, very cool series, I feel?
Look, first thought, obviously, is I hope the camera crew arrive at the right venue on the 8th. I mean,
we send crews to all of them in case.
The chances are right now, well, they might not be televised, you know, because all jokes aside, I mean, Paarl Boys High was the original venue. The field just at this stage not up to scratch. End of the season, not a lot of grass left. And then at Stellenbosch, they're actually revamping, you know, some buildings and stuff. So Durbanville, great that they get an opportunity to host the international series. It's another one of the Western Cape's up-and-coming rugby schools where they're doing a great job for you know getting a good rugby structure going. It's so interesting because now you've got 4 days to gel aside because the guys have all played their last school games today. It's Saturday. They're playing on Thursday, so you've got 4 days to sort of gel aside when you're the coaches there. And Wazi Zanka is the SA Under 18 coach. You know, Kobus van Dijk, very experienced, will be assisting. You got to back South Africa to do well because it's in season. You know, they're playing rugby currently, consistently. But then on the other hand, the European sides will have been in camp now for a week or 2 or 3. So they will be slightly better accustomed to each other almost. So you'll have to, Cooksy, I don't know what you think, but you'll have to almost rely on a bit of individual brilliance for that Thursday fixture from the South African sides to get you through them. And then you'll start get the continuity going by the next week, Tuesday. And in day or match day 3 on the Saturday, you're thinking, all right, this will be our best performance because we've been together now for 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's a tough one, you know, for the coaches. I mean, obviously, like you said, emotional day for a lot of the matrics who would have played probably their last game of schoolboy rugby. And now they go straight to the international series. And I'm very excited for it. You know, we mentioned the talent that we have in this country. So I'm very excited to see how they cope now in test match rugby at their level. I mean, like now, you know, the coaches speak about this is now test match. We're going to try to win test matches. And I'm very excited to see how the guys gel together. Obviously, Thursday is around the corner. And yeah, excited to see what the squad that was puts together, the side he puts together, because, you know, obviously some of the guys, you know, they'll be coming off a gut-wrenching loss or an incredible win. Now, how do they either, one, pick themselves up, or 2, bring themselves back down? And now, yes, we know representing your country is something special. So that at least they know they got that common bond to sort of work towards. So yeah, very excited.
I'm so glad, Alex. Sorry that you mentioned that because of this show, because of the King Price Derby series, because of the way South African schoolboy rugby has gone in the last 5 or 10 years, we almost think about them as pros. But they're not. They're schoolboys. They're 17 and 18-year-olds. Do you now give the Paarl Gym players Thursday off? Do you give them a chance to recover? Or should they already, Cooksy, be professional enough to just slot right into the system and go all guns blazing, Will they carry baggage?
Well, the funny thing is, yes, I understand they are 18-year-old kids, but some of them want to get back on the horse again.
Yeah.
Also now it sounds funny to say now, but now it's about your country now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Country's called. It's time for you to answer the call.
Can't miss that call.
Can't miss that call. Because someone else might. Because
might take
if
it.
you're Marcus Miller, for example, you go like you need to rest, and the tank goes off, and what you gonna do then?
Yeah. When the wife calls, when the wife calls, you answer.
So
when the country calls,
when the nation calls,
you definitely answer.
You
Unless
answer.
your wife's on the phone, then the country waits in line.
This is a very much a you anecdote, because that's one that you've experienced. Let's talk about the picks then. SA under 18A will play Ireland, and then SA under 18 will play France. Who am I talking to first?
The reason why I got the red cap, so I'll go first. I'm not wearing it, but I got the red towel behind me. But, I'll go Ireland to beat the SA 18A side, and I'll go SA 18 to beat France.
Yeah, I mean, I know it's so tough, seeing as we haven't seen these sides together, but just on the feeling from what you've seen, the players you've seen, the South African teams you know we're going to have, and I guess a little bit of last year's performances. Same picks for those two. Cool. Then we can get to the ones you'll probably be able to have a bit more knowledge about. So another 4. Let's start with the SDC Noordval Cup, Waterkloof Transvalia.
I'm going Transvalia to go to Waterkloof and go for the upset.
And you've called them to go all the way to the final.
And this is the weekend they need if they're in the top 4. This is the one. I think they're going to Pretoria and get the job done.
Same.
He's just going to say 3 more words in this segment.
We're just trying to segment things.
Same. Okay, then we get into the King Price Derby Series. Affies, Pretoria Boys.
Affies.
No surprises there. Still a cool derby in Pretoria, but yeah, I think that's one we can almost lock in already. Uppington, Daneveld.
Uppington.
Oh, he came in early. He came in quickly with that pick, Cooks.
I'm not going Daneveld.
Woo! We've had a split.
I'm not going Daneveld. The thing is, that's the thing. I'm back to making big calls again. It led me astray in the start of the season, but now it's going to come back. You know.
Well, I think also over the past couple of weeks, it's definitely helped because you've caught up, you've overtaken, putting the pressure on. Last one, the Battle of the Landboos, Oakdale, Boerland.
Oakdale.
Okay, so then you are aligned.
I mean, they're both going to the farm, but
they're both going to the farm.
I think Oakdale at home has proven they're one of the toughest places to play in South Africa.
Riversdale is just another beast.
Wait, there's more. They're losing a few players. But wait, there's more.
But Boerland loses Jaden Brits.
Boerland loses Brits.
Yeah.
And Brits.
Oakdale loses Pratt.
Ozzy
Oakdale
Foster?
loses Lightly. No. Wait. Oakdale loses Pratt. They lose Phil Yoon.
Mm-hmm.
They lose Ozzy Foster.
This is going to make enough of a difference. With this new information in mind,
They'll
anyone want
probably
to change
move
their
Andre
picks?
Scheffer maybe to 12.
They lose the
They've
8th
still
man.
got Siete Forsler. I'm going to stick with Oakdale. I think... does Boerland Landbou not lose Jaden Ox as well? Is Ox not in the SA under 18A side? You see, for a moment now, I can't remember exactly who's in.
I think Oakdale loses more, but I think at home they'll have just enough for...
But then in that
Boerland
derby,
Landbou.
often it's almost like the JPK's one.
I'll give you guys one more chance if you want to change your pick.
It's like they go...
No, I'm sticking with Oakdale.
It's like they farm well on each other's farms, you know?
No, I'm sticking with Oakdale.
No, I'm also sticking to Oakdale. I'm
right.
Just, yeah.
Then you're aligned on every match except Uppington Daneveld. So we could see...
And you know, it's a tough one for me. I sort of just want to colour in that fixture. So Uppington and Daneveld, for the people that doesn't know, it's obviously another massive town derby, but they also play each other twice. They play Klein Interior, which is small one, and then they play Groot Interior. And Uppington earlier this year won Klein Interior at Daneveld, and now they're playing at home. But again,
the
town derbies go.
The swap.
Yeah.
The swap.
But just so folks that not so well acquainted to that derby, it is a very special derby.
Well, next week we could either see Cooks pull even more ahead, or we're going to see Sput catch up, or a draw would just mean it would stay the same as it is at the moment?
Look, I think some scenario perfect for me, Alex, is to go into the last weekend one down. It's
to have to fight back.
Cooksy's a very, very.
I could easily go to Spur and just take all his picks and copy him. And
the rest of the
win.
season.
Yeah,
the rest of the
but
season.
But that's not your guy. That's not your style. No, you've never been that sort of guy.
Until the last weekend, then I'm 100% that guy.
If you want to hit, I'll expect nothing less. But the last thing I would say, Cooksy is an avid golfer, and going to the 72nd hole, it's always better to be trailing by one than to be leading by one.
Okay, so that's what we're going with then. We might have to, if we get towards the end of the season, make those picks blind, but we'll see what happens when we get there. Maybe someone will
send them in
cruise
an
ahead. We'll see. We've been talking about how incredible the atmosphere was here at Forest Street today. Obviously, it's a little bit quieter now, but Spud and I chatted to some of the people on the ground who helped make this incredible day happen, and here's what they had to say. I'm joined by the head of SuperSport Schools, Mr. Tando Bakumeni, for your first ever Paarl derby. Talk to me about what it's like to have been here, to see it, and to see up front what all the hype's been about, and for a game that ended with a margin of just 2 points.
Alex, it's actually so hard to put into words. Coming into the town yesterday, the trees are wrapped. You can feel that the intensity is building. The town's going to come to a standstill. It's absolutely amazing. And I was saying to people earlier today that it's like nothing I've ever seen before. The game itself was something else, back and forth. So I'm so happy I was actually able to make it here.
To actually be here, to feel it live, to see it, and to see the little bit of a comeback from Boys High. Talk to me about how special it is to have it as part of the King Price Derby series, this just bonanza of derbies that we have throughout the year, 50 of them on SuperSport Schools with King Price, and this being one of them. It's so important to have these derbies on TV. Everyone around the country and online can see them.
It's amazing what we've been able to achieve, actually. It's one thing actually envisioning something like this almost a year ago, sitting around a table, but now getting to this point where it's almost like culminating in an event like this, which is undoubtedly the biggest schoolboy rugby derby in the world, It's really special. I think, it's a big thank you to King Price. It's incredible, them coming on board, investing in this. I've spoken about it before as to why. Like, the reasons around it was around inclusive nature in rugby, spreading right across provinces around the country. So we're really happy they came on board and the investment that they've made, and not only to them, Suzuki as well, Food Lovers Market, and I guess it's also a big thank you to our partners ProVantage, because without them, none of this is possible.
Absolutely. Well then, last thing I want to ask you, having been at your first Paarl derby today, having watched Boys High win 35 points to 33, do you have any favourite moments from the day, from on or off the field?
That's also a very hard question to answer. I was sitting on the Paarl side, so it was interesting as well there. You're sitting there, it's very intense, it's back and forth. When you're neutral, you kind of clap for the game of rugby,
yes.
But sometimes you realize that you're the only one clapping when something happens to the other side of the team. But I think the rugby was incredible. The quality of the rugby was incredible. These kids are really talented. And off the field as well, everyone comes around. As I said, the town stands still. So it's very hard to pick out a specific moment, but I doubt this will be the last derby I come to.
Yeah, no, for sure. You've felt the energy. You're going to have to come back. But Tando, thanks for chatting quickly. It's so cool to see everybody out and about here at the Paarl derby. It's a rugby derby unlike any other.
De Wet van Deventer van King Price. Nie die eerste keer wat ek en jy gesels nie, maar die eerste keer hier op Forest Straat onder die ligte. Hoe groot voorreg is dit om Boys High teen Gim as 'n King Price derby reeks wedstryd te hê?
Ja, Spoed, ek wil absoluut ongelooflik. Ek wil die atmosfeer vandag, ek kan dit nie beskryf vir iemand nie, en jy weet hulle sê dit is die grootste skole rugby game in die wêreld, en ek dink vandag het dit bewys. Dit was ongelooflik.
Kyk, ek het net klaar vir jou gesê ek het net die rooie, so ek sien uit na die wit en rooie, maar De Wet, jy praat van die grootste skolewedstryd, maar dit was ook 'n geleentheid vir julle om te kom skouers skuur en regtig deel te wees van die reeks op 'n grondvlak ook.
Ja, Spoed, jy weet dit is 'n voorreg, jy weet, om hier in die gemeenskap betrokke te kan wees. Jy weet, om mense net te kan sien, bietjie van ons brand uit te kry en die mense King Price te laat ervaar en goeie, so vir ons absolute voorreg. Maar weer eens, dit is ongelooflik. Jy kan dit nie beskryf vir iemand nie. Baie bevoorreg om hier te kan wees.
Hulle sê daar 27,000 kaartjies verkoop vir vandag se wedstryd. Nou, daar's altyd mos maar die ou wat so 'n bietjie onder deur die draad klim en so. So kom ons sê 27,500 mense by 'n skolewedstryd. hoe bereik King Price en wat is jou en julle as maatskappy se doelwit met daai 27.500 mense?
Ja, ek dink jy sê die 27.500, jy weet daar's seker miljoene wat kyk na dit op TV en goeie. So vir ons is net dit is weer, dis 'n voorreg en dit is net lekker om betrokke te kan wees. Jy weet mense bietjie die brand te kan beleef en goeders en net te kan teruggee. Jy weet teruggee vir die gemeenskap en vir hierdie kinders. Jy weet wat 'n voorreg is om vir hulle almal die geleentheid te kan gee om hopelik hulle drome te kan najaag.
King Price het later by skole rugby betrokke geraak, vroeër wel by sekere skole wat baie goeie rugby speel. Jy weet ons weet almal wat daai skole se name is, maar is King Price daar om te bly in skole rugby in
Ja, absoluut. Spoed David, dit is die jaar nou in hierdie reeks en die terugvoer is amazing. Jy weet net die terugvoer van die publiek af, van die gemeenskappe af, van die mense, so ja, vir ons is 'n voorreg om betrokke te kan wees.
Dit word vir my 'n voorreg elke keer as ek en jy kan gesels. Baie dankie vir wat julle doen vir skole rugby in Suid-Afrika en nie net vir skole rugby nie, maar vir gemeenskappe. En dankie dat ek weet my kar kan veilig slaap.
Nee, groot plesier.
Baie dankie, geniet die naweek.
Well, the Paarl Derby is a family affair, and it's not just the kids from Paarl Boys and Paarl who come to watch. I've got a little Callum with me. Callum, how old are you?
I'm 9.
Okay, who are you here to support today?
Paarl Boys.
And do you go to Paarl Boys?
No.
Okay, so why Paarl Boys?
Because I like Paarl Boys and in high school.
Okay. And if you, when you go to high school one day, which school do you think you're
I
going
want
to
to
go
go to Paarl.
So you're keeping it in the rugby schools then. You're
Yes.
supporting Paarl Boys today, but only for now until you get to high school.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have a favourite moment from today, from the action?
I think everything was a favourite moment, but I think Marcus Miller's tackle was
Yes,
nice.
that was.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's good. You enjoyed the game today?
Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks, Callum.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
We were lost for 3 days. I told him to ration the water, but he somehow went and drank every last drop in the first hour. I have a family.
We urge the public to remain calm. There is no leak. However, we have identified a thirsty individual who's responsible for this water crisis in the Western Cape.
He almost left Brackenfell for Waterkloof just because of the name. Almost.
Jason, is this true?
Yeah, that's true. I am thirsty.
Thank you for believing in each other. Thank you for putting all your hard work.
Thank you for never giving up.
guys. Thank you for bringing the game to more people. Thank you.
Some things you don't choose. They choose you. A name, a history, a legacy that came long before you and will last long after you're gone. It's not just about the game. It's the moments that shape you. The early mornings, the long bus rides, the chants that never fade. The friendships, the rivalries, the feeling of being part of something bigger. It's a belonging. Something you carry with you wherever you go. Because once you're a part of it, you always will be.
Takealot and Rhino Rugby are giving fans the chance to win 4 tickets to watch the Springboks take on Australia at the Rugby Championship. And here on Rugby on 216, we want you to know all about it. This week, you could win 4 tickets to see the Springboks live in Joburg. To enter, just answer our trivia question correctly for a shot at joining the action at Emirates Airline Park on the 16th of August. In which year did the Springboks win their first Rugby World Cup? A. 1991, B. 1995, C. 2007, or D. 2019? What do you think? Find and like the post on SuperSport School's social media, tag 3 friends you want sharing with you, and comment your answer, A, B, C, or D. Make sure to include the hashtag TakeALotRugbyJHB. Then tune in next week to find out if you're the lucky winner. But that's not the end of it. Next week there'll be a new question and more tickets up for grabs to see the Boks take on Australia at DHL Stadium in Cape Town on the 23rd of August. Of course, T's and C's apply, flights and accommodation are not included, and you must be 18 or older to enter, so get your parents involved. Good luck!
Welcome back to Rugby on 216, brought to you, of course, by Thirsty. And we're standing here next to the Kriel Field with the Chippies and Paarl comes, or Paarl Boys High's third side rather, playing in the Paarl Interschools. But I'm joined here by 2 men who stay in the same street and are family members. They stay in De Meterlaan in Ceres. And as you can see, Zach Watt is proudly dressed in his Boys High outfit, and Quinton Potgieter will be taking the field tomorrow for Paarl Gymnasium's first side for his second Interschools main match at Forest Street Stadium. Quinton, ek gaan begin met jou. Jy is die ouer neefie. Nou, verduidelik net vir my, hoe kry jy dit dan nie reg sodat Zach groen aan het vandag hê? Wat het daar verkeerd geloop?
Ek het my bes probeer, soos wat ek maar in seer probeer as ek sien as 'n goeie rugbyspeler. Maar hy het sy keuse gemaak en ek respekteer dit. As hy glo dit was die regte keuse, dan is dit so en dis maar nou so. Dis een van daai dinge, lewe gaan aan en dis maar dinge in die familie wat aangaan.
Okay, maar ek neem aan volgens jou het hy die verkeerde keuse gemaak.
Ek lewer die kommentaar.
Yeah, you see, that's the difficult thing. You can't get these guys to really have a go at each other. Zach Watt, jou bynaam in die span is Soutie, maar jy verkies Afrikaans. Het Quinton jou probeer boelie? Het hy druk op jou gesit en hoe het jy op die einde besluit, maar Boys High is jou keuse?
Ja, maar dit is mos moeilik. Hy het first team gemaak laas jaar toe ek my keuse moes maak. En my ma was obviously in gym, my suster gaan volgende jaar gym toe. Maar soos ek sê, ek het my keuse gemaak en ek respekteer my keuse en ek dink ek het die regte keuse gemaak.
Okay, look, this is where you really take your hats off to Paarl Boys and their recruitment drive, because how they got that one over the line, I'm not sure. Quinton, jy weet, dis nou op die vooraand van julle groot wedstryd, die onderhoud gaan eers uitsaai na die tyd, maar moet weet, jy het verlede jaar gespeel, wat gaan nou deur jou kop, kom ons sê 18 ure, 20 ure voor daai afskop, waaraan dink 'n ou nou?
Ja, ek's baie opgewonde, ek sien verskriklik uit, spesiaal in my matriekjare is. Obviously is ek meer op my nerves bietjie, maar ek weet wat van wag word van my, en ek was al ten minste daar, so ek sal sê, ek weet wat om te doen, en ek weet dat die skool agter ons is, en dat daar klomp oudboys is, en die ondersteuning, daar sal wees vir ons.
Zach, dit was nou jou eerste smaakie van interskole rugby. Dit het minder goed gegaan, Paarl Gymnasium se pak voorspelers veral, en ek meen jy's 'n slot, so jy het daai gevoel, hulle het baie goed gedryf teen julle op die einde gewen 18-6. Hoe het jy daai eerste keer ervaar om voor so groot skare te speel, en maak dit 'n ou nou al klaar honger vir volgende jaar, want jy het enetjie om terug te neem?
Ja, dit was baie lekker. Jy voel nie eintlik die pressure. Jy speel maar net jou game, soos die coaches sê, jy gaan uit, dis 'n normale game. Maar obviously, hulle was baie goeie span, die druk was hoog, maar ek sien baie uit vir volgende jaar.
Maar nou, al twee van julle, kom ons praat 'n bietjie oor Ceres, en wat is in die water daar in Ceres? Ons weet manne soos Cameron Hanne kom, jy weet, jy wat 'n 8ste man is, kom ook uit Ceres se wêreld, en heel wat ander ouens ook. Nou, wat is dit van Ceres wat maak dat goeie rugby spelers van daar af kom, en die Ceres manne is lief om hier in die Paarl dan te kom skool gaan?
Wat ek sal sê is, omdat so 'n klein dorp is, almal ken maar vir almal, en baie ouens kyk op na die wat klaar daar was en wat toe na skool, kan ek dit sê, na 'n ander skool toe gegaan het half en net presteer het. So ek glo baie ouens kyk op daarna, en dan sien jy net hoe die ouens hard werk en jy wil net in hulle voetstappe volg, en ek voel dis 'n ding wat maar ons dorpie dryf om net na, hoe kan ek sê, om te gaan presteer in ander skole.
Maar iets wat ek nou wil weet, en nou moet jy eerlik wees, nee? Nou, jy mag nie jok op TV nie. tuinrugby in Ceres, né? Het hy jou geboelie?
Ons het nie regtig baie gespeel nie. Hy was bietjie oud, maar die kere wat ons gespeel het, ja, hy het
En hy het as prins gedoen, né? Quentin, is dit die waarheid?
Ja, ek sal maar sê dis bietjie kompeterend daar in die tuin. Soos wat dit elke keer is ons bly in dieselfde straat, so dit is nog meer kompeterend. En my broer was ook altyd saam met ons. Hy is nog ouer. So dan weet ek moet 'n bietjie show by die tuin.
Sê gou vir my nou daan die Meterlaan, hè, waar jy bly in Ceres. As jy nou terugkom vir 'n naweek huis toe, praat die mense met jou oor boys daai, praat hulle met jou oor die rugby, wil hulle weet hoe dit gaan?
Ja, daar's baie mense wat kom. Al my vriende kom, almal praat, almal vra my baie vir skoolhemde en sulke goed, maar ek wil meestal net by die huis wees, bietjie rus na 'n lang rugby naweek, ek's moeg, bietjie seer. So ja.
Quentin, ek en jy het vroeër hierdie jaar ook gesels by die Absa Willeklawer toernooi, ek en jy en Marcus. In jou wildste drome het jy gedink dit gaan so 'n goeie seisoen vir julle wees en nou daai laaste hekkie om te oorkom en dan is dit 'n onoorwonde seisoen as ek reg is die eerste keer van 2008 af vir Paarl Gimnasium.
Ja, ek meen ons jaargroep alleen sy jare voor die jaar was nie die beste nie. Onder 16 nie goed gedoen nie, 15 weer nie. En ons onder 14 nie eintlik 'n rugbyjaar gehad nie, maar met die graad 11 se bygekom het en hoe goed ons met hulle gebond het net ons span sterker gemaak. Dis een ding, ons weet ons is 'n prosesgedrewe span en alles hang af van ons samewerking en net hoe goed ons bond van die veld af dryf net ons span om net half beter te perform, as ek dit so kan stel. En die jaar was amazing, daar's nog een hekkie oor en ek weet ons almal sing uit daarvoor en ons gaan maar sing môre wat
Kyk, jy gaan presies vir my kan sê wanneer was die laaste onoorwonde jaar van Paarl Gimnasium?
2013 as
dit is 2013, so ek het so 5 jaar uit daar. Zach, dit is nou nie 'n onoorwonde jaar vir jou in jou eerste jaar by Boys High gewees nie, maar wat maak dit spesiaal om in daai wit en blou trui te kan staan en wat maak dit spesiaal om elke maandagoggend vroeg of sondagmiddag van Ceres af terug te kom koshuis toe?
Nee, dis 'n baie goed bekende skool, obviously diepte 157 jaar se legacy wat al gebou is, so dis op 'n groot eer vir my om vir die Bash te speel en al die support, al die 900 ander seuns wat vir jou kom kyk elke Saterdag, kyk hoe jy speel en obviously jou span, jou broers in blou, hulle druk jou ook en dis lekker. Dis vir jou lekker om te kom speel, lekker om te oefen saam hulle. En ja, dis net 'n baie groot eer vir my.
Kyk, die feit dat jy al klaar langer as ek is, beteken dit gaan nou right gaan met jou op slot. Daarvan kan jy oortuig wees. Quentin, ek kom terug na jou en ek wil 'n bietjie stil staan by wat beteken Paarl Gimnasium vir jou en wat beteken die 5 jaar wat jy spandeer het hier en hoe gaan dit wees om vir die laaste keer daai trui aan te trek en is dit iets waaroor 'n ou emosioneel raak?
Ja, nee, verskriklik. Ek en Marcus was bietjie emosioneel na ons laaste tuisgame hierso en ek weet hierdie laaste 5 jaar wat Gim vir my gegee het waar ek nou staan sou nie gebeur sonder Paarl Gim nie. En ek weet môre wen of verloor gaan ek huil, dis bietjie emosioneel om my laaste game saam met byvoorbeeld Hendrik van der Westhuizen ook van Ceres afkom, maar ons 12 jaar lank saam rugby gespeel het. Dis emosioneel vir 'n ou, maar jy weet dit, daar's 'n job om te doen en jy weet jy wil dit gaan hoe regmaak vir die skool en net vir die skool gee wat hulle al vir ons gegee het.
So there is truly something about South African forwards in Ceres. Andre van der Westhuizen as well as Ceres man as is Quentin Potgieter. Zachary, what dit moet vir jou 'n aansporing wees om iemand soos Quentin as 'n neef te hê en om te weet Henry wat môre speel, ook 'n man van Ceres, Cameron Hanne kom. Is dit ouens na wie jy opkyk omdat hulle van jou kontry is en wil jy graag in daai voetspore volg?
Ja, ek kyk baie op na Quentin, hulle is groot name, maar ek dink ook soos almal wat al in Boys ook was, maar ja, Quentin hulle is vir my baie groot en omdat hy familie is, kyk ek ook baie meer na hom op.
Zach, baie dankie. Ek weet dit is 'n emosionele tyd net na 'n verloor by Interskole. Baie dankie dat jy met ons gesels het. Quentin, alhoewel hierdie onderhoud nou Dinsdag aand eers sal wys, baie sterkte vir môre. 5 jaar ongelukkig word gemaak en gebreek in 70 minute môre. That's the true beauty of the Paarl Interschools. Not only does it divide friends, it also divides families. Will it be the year of the Potgieters or the Watts? We'll take a quick break and come back to Rugby on 216.
Bottles disappeared. Profits vanished.
It wasn't theft.
Our biggest customer became our biggest problem.
I wouldn't call it a problem. He just likes to gooi a few with the boys.
The guys in the first team used to call him Camille.
Because he was so tall.
No, not Camille Per, Camille. He used to drink 200 liters of water in 3 minutes after practice, like a bloody camel.
Is this true, Jebben?
Yeah, most of that is true. I am thirsty.
Thank you for believing in each other. Thank you for putting all your hard work.
Thank you for never giving up.
Guys. Thank you for bringing the game to more people. Thank you.
In a world where every second counts, will he make it on time? Out here on the streets, anything can happen when the odds are stacked against you. One man finds the will, the drive, the passion to steer his path to destiny. It's a Swift.
Welcome back to Rugby on 216, brought to you by Thirsty. All we have left to do on today's show from Forest Street Stadium is Ask the Ref and the Impossible Truth, which I'm not looking forward to, by the way, having dropped below 50%. But for Ask the Ref, I think...
No, ask the ref.
No, ask
Praise
the ref.
the ref.
Praise the ref, yes. Jean de Bot, the referee for today's Paarl derby, just to put it in perspective, usually this derby is refereed by refs who have almost done international matches, or they've done URC, they've done Currie Cup. AJ Jacobs doing it the last 2 years in a row. I mean, he's reffed URC, he refereed the Springboks against the Barbarians. And Juan was selected. He's a fantastic referee. He's Western Province Division 1. He went to Craven Week a couple of weeks ago. He's on the SA panel. What an awesome occasion, but one with so much pressure, because people must remember, you do have assistant referees, but you have no TMO, and this is a stadium of 27,000 people. It's like a test match. The pressure is insane.
So, in no other provincial rugby match for the rest of the year in South Africa, barring maybe a December URC game, will there be more people at a professional rugby match? And maybe the Currie Cup final, depending on where it's been played. So, referees often get criticised. Hardly gets praised. I thought he was very good today. And you know why I say that, Twixie? When a ref becomes invisible, he's having a game. And he was, for me, in commentary, at a stage I had to remind myself to mention Jean de Bot, because it is a big day for him. And, you know, no, he was very good.
No, he was very good. Like you mentioned, like the best trade for referees, you don't see him, you don't see him in a game like this, and you had control of the game. There's no niggles or no argy barges and things like that. And also, you know, when it was time to make big calls, and a few big calls he had to make. And I mean, obviously, in the game of rugby, there's lots of with the laws and interpretation. But I thought he was phenomenal. You know, the way he controlled the game, the way he ran that game, and you know, there was a call I loved he made earlier in the game that a ball was kicked from someone. I remember when it looked like. You said ref look for the mark, but it said to him, no, you started inside, but you landed outside of 22. Massive call in that situation. Now they could concede a penalty, and then obviously gone for Paarls. But those are the sort of calls you was making and articulating the two players. And phenomenal job.
Clear, concise. His incredibly fit. I know when we run our fitness tests, which is something we do in Western Province, he makes everyone else look slow sometimes. But fantastic day for him. And I think when it's a game that is this close, a 2-point game, and to say that there's no controversy is very special.
Not only players' careers gets made at interschools.
Yeah,
watch out.
100%.
I've had also some chatting in recent weeks to some of the SA referees. I've had people tell me it can also be a career killer here.
It can.
Yeah.
But today was not one for Jean.
Yeah,
it was not a career killer.
Brilliant.
Looking forward to seeing him in the pro game.
You guys making me happy praising the refs. Now let's make Alex sad and do the impossible truth, which is seemingly impossible for me because I'm below 50%. So I'm going to just stop keeping count. Who's going first?
I'll lead the charge. We don't know when the rankings come out, but if Paarl Boys in number 1 this year, it'll be the first time they've been number 1. Well, first time they've been number 1 since the last time Sean Erasmus was in charge.
Remember, he went away.
Went away to the Lions? Okay.
Okay.
Nico Momsen, staff member these days at Paarl Gymnasium, won 5 interschools in a row as head coach of Paarl Gymnasium.
Oh, I've literally looked at the list this morning of every single one since 19 whatever, and I only looked at Sean and Peter as the coaches. So if it was on that list that Hannes Nienaber of SA Schools Plus puts together, then I'm very disappointed with that. This is like last week. I don't know. I literally don't know. I have to just think, has Paarl Boys been number 1 in the country? It's also a bit of an ambiguous thing, but have they had an unbeaten year since then? I'm going to say no. Sput's true. Did I get it?
Yes.
Oh, thank goodness. Thank goodness.
And it I just need to have this my statement fact checked.
Oh.
Because it was mentioned by Mr. Momsen himself. So
Okay.
I don't think it's
That's-
I'm going to rephrase just to make sure it's correct as coach.
Okay.
Maybe one was an assistant.
Yes,
assistant
as
or
a
whatever.
coach,
but
part
as
of the
a
coaching
coach
team.
of the,
Yeah.
part of the coaching staff, he won 5 in a row.
But that's what we always call it. It's like a first order source. It's a first source. It's a true source.
Yeah.
Because it's come from him.
Yeah.
It's come from him.
So if it's not true, it's not true.
Alex
Mr.
is finally
Momsen.
bounced back.
Woo, that's. I mean, I thought I was excited sitting here, the adrenaline going, watching this like it was a test match, and just because of my pick feeling so invested in those last 5 minutes. But I think this trumps it, almost.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a while.
It's been a while.
It's been a while.
Guys, it's been a
You've
while.
been to other rugby matches in between getting one right, so now I can understand.
Yeah. So thank you guys, and that's all we have time for on today's episode of Rugby on 216. Brought to you by Thirsty. It's been incredible here at Forest Street. We're going to stay in the Western Cape for the next couple of weeks. Cooks and Sput are going to realize the beauty of the Western Cape and what it holds as we're here for the FNB Under 18 International Series. The first clashes happening on the 8th of August at Durbanville High School. It's all we have time for today. We'll see you next week. For now, bye-bye.